Hello everyone and welcome back to the Bantamweight Boxing YouTube channel. Hope everyone's having a good weekend and survived the old Storm Eunice. Hope everyone's sheds are okay. Just looking at mine now and it's pretty buggers, got no roof now. So cheers for that Eunice. Dad's pissed. But anyway, I'm back again with another Boxing Weekly Roundup. You didn't think I'd do it, did you? You didn't think I'd have the consistency, but 2 weeks in a row. Let's go. So yeah, big day of sport today. Actually, I'm going to go and watch Crystal Palace vs Chelsea at Selhurst Park. Then I'm going to watch England vs Wales in the rugby, and then we're going to top it off with a bit of Amir Khan vs Kell Brook. So it's brilliant. So anyway, let's get into this fight, and of course we got this roundup, and of course I've got to start with Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. Eddie Hearn says, Khan versus Brook equals money grab. He's a bit butthurt, isn't he, Eddie Hearn? He is a bit... He's had a rough couple of weeks, to be fair to him. He lost out in the purse bid for Whyte versus Fury, and now he's seen a fight being made, which he was probably trying to make himself for years with Kell Brook. So you can understand why he's fuming. And to be fair to Sky Sports, they've done a wicked job. They've promoted the fight really well. Brook versus Khan. I thought the gloves are off was brilliant. Really, that definitely hooked me. After that, I was like, yeah, I'm ready for this. Then the presser, that was done really well. Was quite frosty, to be fair. And yeah, again, they've done a good job. But this was a fight where it was quite easy to promote, to be fair. Like it did sell itself. Everyone wanted to see it. Is it a money grab? Yeah, of course it's a money grab. But is there anything wrong with that? No, it's a money grab because they're both going to make a lot of money. But people do want to see the fight. And it came late, but better late than never, as they've all been saying. And, people are excited for it. So props to them. But a few words on the fight. It is tonight now. Have I weighed with my prediction? No, I'm still going Kell Brook round 8/9 for the knockout. I think Khan's going to come in strong, start strong, fast hands, confusing Brook a little bit. I think he's going to start well, Khan, as he always does. But, I think Brook's going to get the timing down and he's going to knock him spack out with a few chocolate brownies. So we'll see. But let's move on to Canelo Alvarez. He has rejected a $100 million offer to face Charlo and Benavidez in a 2-fight deal, and instead he's taken the Dazn offer to fight Bivol and Golovkin. Let me know what your thoughts are about that. What you would rather see out of those two. For me, I'm more than happy to see Bivol versus Golovkin. Really intrigued by this Bivol fight. I said it in the last roundup when it was first announced. I think Bivol is a very tough fight for Canelo. I think it will cause him a lot of problems with the movement, the size, just the precision of his punches, the way he moves. I think, he's just a good fighter, like a really solid fighter. And I think it's going to be difficult for Canelo. Golovkin, obviously, that's a bit of a gimme, I think, now, especially by the time it happens. Golovkin's going to be about 40 or so. It's going to be nothing like the first two fights. But still, I think I'm quite happy for Golovkin because he's going to get like a nice little payday to finish the career. And I'm happy with those two fights. I've heard a lot of people say they think Canelo's ducking Benavidez. Not too sure about that. The Charlo fight and the Benavidez fight is still going to be there. And it just shows, there are some wicked fights out there for Canelo at the moment. And they can still happen. Again, I do think Benavidez is another really difficult opponent for Canelo. Not so much Charlo. I think pretty confident Canelo would. I think he would knock Charlo out, to be fair. But Benavidez would be a difficult fight, and I'm sure we will get to see that in the future. Let's move on. Gennady Golovkin on Canelo Alvarez. I won both fights. I definitely gave him the first fight. I remember watching that in the early hours of the morning. I was gutted when it was announced a draw, especially with one of those scorecards was like ridiculous. in favour of Canelo. I was like, what are you watching? And actually, it put me off Canelo for a little bit because I was just kind of like, you know, Gennady deserved that win. And yeah, it just felt all a bit dodge. But the second fight, I think that could have been scored a draw. But I leaned more towards Canelo winning that. So sorry, Triple G. I love you, man, but I don't think you did win both. Definitely gave him one, but not both. But yeah, as I said, it did put me off Canelo a little bit for after that. But he has now grown on me again after I've seen what he's done in the ring. You know, you gotta respect that man, even if he does occasionally eat some horse meat or whatever it was, steroid horse meat, some shit like that. But we'll let you off. We'll let you off, mate. Anyway, now on to Lomachenko, front runner for Kambosos fight, June the 5th in Australia, Melbourne. Big fight, big fight. Very, very excited for that if it is made. I think, as it says here, I think he is the front runner, although everyone is trying to get this fight right now. I think everyone feels that Kambosos is a good fighter, but they could probably do a job on him. We've got Garcia calling him out, Devin Haney calling him out, but I think it deserves to go to Lomachenko after, you know, that Comey performance and you know what he's been doing in his career, full stop. So really excited for that. Leaning towards Lomachenko. You know, people did think he was on the decline a little bit after the Teofimo Lopez fight, but he's proved after that, you know, he's still very much game. And we need to see these big fights now before, you know, he really does hit his decline, because he relies so heavily on that movement, you know, the twisting and turning, the footwork. And as you get older, you know, that's not going to carry with you, unfortunately. And he has had such a long career, you know, in the amateurs, 300 plus fights, you know, whatever it is. And then some big fights in the pros. So need to see these big fights ASAP. But yeah, I'd lean towards Loma in that fight. I think he doesn't, but I think they've got a rematch clause, so we'll probably get another one of those fights if it's fairly close or whatever. But yeah, I've just got to show you as well. Look at this photo of Lomachenko. God, look at that with the stony on, bloody hell. If that's not the hardest photo you've seen today, mate, I could just picture Lomachenko in that interview just going, you know, get that little badge in, please. Just get that badge in. But yeah, looking forward to that fight. Now, onto the heavyweights, the big boys. Dillian Whyte will be silly not to take the Fury fight, says Gareth Davies. Yeah, 100%. I'd go as far as to say I think it would be the worst decision of Dillian Whyte's career, or the biggest mistake in Dillian Whyte's career if he doesn't take this fight. There's nowhere else for him to go. You know, he's a dangerous guy. People don't want to fight him. And the only way he's going to get the world title fights now is through mandatories, because he's a dangerous fighter, but he's not the biggest name in the world, especially in America. So you're not going to get a massive payday from fighting Dillian Whyte. And it's just high risk, low reward. So he's now finally got the mandatory opportunity that he's been chasing after for so many years. And he's sulking a little bit. Which is a bit of a shame, because I was very much looking forward to all of this build up, you know, the back and forth with him and Fury online. I thought Whyte was one of the few fighters who could actually give it back to Fury. I think he just doesn't really care. A bit like Fury, a bit of a screw loose, and they would have just gone crazy at each other online. Yeah, he's doing the silent treatment. And, you know, it's a bit of a shame. He's got till today. Well, today is the cut-off point for him to sign the agreement. And I think he will. As I said, he's got nowhere else to go. It's a chance to fight the #1 heavyweight in the world, one of the biggest names in boxing, one of your biggest paydays in boxing. It's a no-brainer. And hopefully we see this fight now. And he acknowledges it. We get the presser going. We get it starting to build up, starting to heat up a little bit. I get it. You know, he didn't get the money he wanted in the contract, so he was like, I'm not getting what I want, so I'm not going to give you guys what you want, which is fireworks, and what the fans want, which is fireworks. But hopefully now he signs it. I think he will. And you know, we get this fight going. Anyway, I think I'll round it up there, leave it there. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you're all filled in with the boxing news at the moment. Remember to like and subscribe. Really helps. And drop a comment. What are your thoughts on all these, these bits and bobs, all the news going on? But anyway, thank you for listening and goodbye.